reign of Tsumburbura, a story from Hausa mythology. Long ago, in the lands of the Hausa people of Niger and Nigeria, the rains stopped and the earth turned to dust. Crops withered, rivers dried up, and the people grew desperate. They believed that the great sky god Tsumburbura, who controlled the rain and the winds, was displeased. Tsumburbura was a powerful but unseen god, and his blessings were vital for life. In a small village, a wise elder named Malamadamu gathered the people and spoke, "We have forgotten to honor Tsumburbura and the spirits of the earth. We must seek forgiveness and restore the balance." The villagers brought offerings of millet, honey, and their finest cattle to a sacred grove, where they prayed to Tsumburbura and Mythical, the spirits of nature that dwelled in the land and sky. That night, a young girl named Zara had a dream. Tsumburbura appeared as a mighty whirlwind, his voice rumbling like thunder. "Show respect to the land and the rivers, for they are my gifts to you. Care for them, and the rain will return." The next day, the villagers cleaned the riverbeds, replanted trees, and shared food with those in need. As they worked, dark clouds gathered, and a soft rain began to fall, turning dust to light. The people danced and sang in gratitude, knowing that Tsumburbura had heard their prayers. From that day on, the Hausa people honored Tsumburbura and the Iskoki, understanding that harmony with nature brought prosperity. They taught future generations to respect the land, the rivers, and the skies, knowing that balance was the key to survival. The Guardians of the Oasis, a story from Tebu mythology. In the scorching deserts of Chad and Libya, the Tebu people believed in the spirits of the land, known as the Tedige, who watched over the oases and life-giving waters. These spirits were both protectors and judges, rewarding those who respected the desert and punishing those who showed greed or recklessness. One day, a young traveler named Arki set out to cross the vast dunes in search of an oasis his elders had spoken of. He grew thirsty and desperate under the merciless sun. At last, he found the oasis, its water sparkling like a mirage. Forgetting the teachings of his people, Arki rushed forward, drinking greedily and splashing the water without offering thanks to the Tedige. As night fell, a sandstorm rose from the desert, and Arki became lost once more. He cried out in fear, realizing his mistake. In the storm, he saw a shimmering figure, Tedige, the spirit of the oasis, speaking through the wind. "The desert gives life to those who show respect. Take only what you need and leave the rest for others." Humbled, Arki prayed for forgiveness, vowing to honor the spirit. When the storm calmed, the path to the oasis appeared again. This time, he approached with reverence, offering water to the earth and giving thanks to Tedige. The oasis remained full and clear, and Arki returned to his people, teaching them to honor the desert spirits. From that day, the Tebu people remembered that survival in the desert depended on respect of the land and its guardians. The Tedige were protectors of life, and harmony with them brought safety, water, and prosperity to all who dwelled in the unforgiving sand. The Spirits of the Wind, a story from Zaghawa mythology. In the dry and rugged lands of Chad, the Zaghawa people believed in Nomo, the great spirit of the wind and sky, who governed the forces of nature and brought both life and hardship. Alongside Nomo were the Sili, the spirits of the earth and water, who watched over the land and ensured its balance. To live in harmony, the Zaghawa people honored these spirits through rituals and offerings. One year, the winds grew fierce, and dust storms swept across the land, burying crops and drying the wells. The people feared that Nomo was angry, and they turned to the elders for guidance. A young shepherd named Jibril volunteered to climb the sacred hill of Tedige, where it was said the voice of Nomo could be heard. At the hill's peak, Jibril offered milk and dates, calling to Nomo with humility. As he prayed, the wind suddenly stilled, and a soft voice echoed, "The land suffers because the spirits of the earth have been forgotten. Honor the Sili, and the winds will carry rain instead of dust." Jibril returned to the village and shared Nomo's message. The people gathered to perform a sacred ceremony, offering food and water to the earth and rivers in gratitude. They promised to care for the land, planting trees and protecting the wells. Soon, gentle winds returned, carrying dark clouds that brought rain, and the land began to heal. From that day on, the Zaghawa people remembered Nomo's lesson. The wind and earth are connected, and only through respect for the spirits could harmony be restored. They continued to honor the Sili and Nomo, knowing their survival depended on balance with the forces of nature. The Gift of Kura, a story from Kanuri mythology. In the lands of Niger and Chad, the Kanuri people believed in Kura, the great sky god who ruled over the heavens, rain, and the cycles of life. Kura was the giver of blessings, ensuring harmony between the earth and the sky. Alongside Kura were the spirit guardians of the rivers and forests, known as the Tilo, who protected nature's sacred balance. One year, the rain stopped falling, and the land became barren. The rivers dried, and hunger swept through the villages. The elders knew this was a sign that Kura and the Tilo had been forgotten. A young boy named Malam stepped forward and vowed to restore balance. He journeyed to the sacred river, where it was said the Tilo appeared to those who showed reverence. Malam knelt at the riverbank, offering millet, milk, and prayers. The water shimmered, and the Tilo appeared as glowing figures dancing on the surface. The land suffers because the people have taken without gratitude. They whispered. Honor Kura with offerings and protect the rivers and forests. Malam returned to the village and shared the message. people gathered to honor Kura with gifts of grain and songs of gratitude. They planted trees to restore the land and vowed to care for the rivers. Soon after, dark clouds rolled across the sky and the rains returned, reviving the earth. From that day, the Kanuri people remembered that Kura's blessings depended on respect for nature and the Tilo. By living in harmony with the earth and sky, they ensured balance and prosperity for future generations. The river spirit's blessing, a story from Songhay mythology. In the fertile lands of Mali, the Songhay people revered Pharaoh, the great water god and creator of life. Pharaoh ruled over the rivers, especially the mighty Niger, which sustained the land and its people. Alongside Pharaoh were the Hole, the spirits of nature who guarded the forests, fields, and waters, ensuring balance between the human and spirit world. One year, the Niger River began to dry, and the fields turned to dust. Fish disappeared, and the people feared for their survival. The elders gathered and decided to call upon Pharaoh and the Hole for help. A young fisherwoman named Amina, known for her kindness and respect for the river, was chosen to make the offering. She prepared a bowl of rice, milk, and fish, and walked to the riverbank at dawn. As Amina set the offering into the river, the water shimmered, and a soft voice echoed, "The river gives life, but it must be honored. Greed and waste have disrupted the balance. Care for the waters, and Pharaoh's blessings will flow again." Amina returned to the village and shared Pharaoh's message. The people came together, cleaning the riverbanks and vowing to use the waters wisely. They performed sacred dances and offered prayers to thank Pharaoh for his gifts. Soon after, the Niger swelled with fresh water, fish returned, and the land bloomed once more. From that day, the Songhay people honored Pharaoh and the Hole, knowing the river was the source of life. They learned that harmony with nature and respect for the spirits would ensure Pharaoh's blessings for generations to come.